So, yeah, so um, I'll be teaching a level two class called Discovering Tremolo Technique on the ukulele. And tremolo is something that's done on every instrument. It's very pronounced on instruments like mandolin, um, tamburiza, balalaika. There are many instruments that tremolo is inherent in the main aspect of learning. Ukulele, our initial foray into tremolo is if we're lucky enough to be a part of club and it's your first time or two, you sit up and you take notice at the fact that at the end of every song, the whole club goes like a bunch of Muppets, and you go, whoa, what is that? And then you try to copy it, but nobody really shows you the form, the variety of ways in which the hand can be positioned that might be better suited for you. And so as with everything I do, I try to present a variety of different options, not to confuse, but to say, try these. Which way was easiest for you? Whatever way was easiest for you, stick to that way and get really good at it, and then give people the skills to learn tremolo. And so we'll be looking at all of those different ways. I think I'm going to be showing like 4 different ways to demonstrate demonstrating tremolo, and exercises, some songs to show you how tremolo works, whether they're the end of a song like Goodnight Irene, or maybe you want to start a doo-wop song out with, instead of just going, you want to go 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
So what are some practical approaches for using tremolo that you can start to do right away? And if nothing else, when everyone else is doing tremolo at the end of a song, you'll be able to do it real confidently and strongly at the end of that class. It really breaks things down in a really nice manner of how to do it. What are the pitfalls? What are problems that people run into when they're doing tremolo? And all of that. So that's called Discovering Tremolo. It's a level 2 class, not for the complete beginner, but I do think that just about anybody would do well to take that class, whether you're already doing tremolo and you think you're good at it, or you're a very beginner and you want to understand how it works. So that's one class that I'm doing, and I've been teaching that a long time. I enjoy doing that class a lot. And then I've got a newer class that I created from going down to like the Carolinas and doing a lot of festivals down in the Blue Ridge Mountains and in the Appalachian region of America, where I find myself often. And so I created a class called Mountain Ballads for Uke. And that's also a level 2 class. It skews more towards repertoire. So there's a lot of really cool songs. I don't have the packet in front of me, but there's a few common things like Shady Grove, which are part of the old time string band repertoire and mountain music repertoire. And then there's lesser known things like Asheville Junction, Swannanoa Tunnel. We may look at a fiddle tune or two that's really synonymous and fun with mountain music, but a lot of ballad-based stuff. Not just strumming, but there'll be some basic melodies for those who are melody players and they want to do more than just sing and strum as well. And I'll demonstrate a variety of ways in which those songs can be played. So people think about it, and there's a lot of really cool history in those songs. So anyone who likes folk music, bluegrass music, old time stuff, Scotch Irish influence in America, that's a really fun class. It's not going to be the class that you have to work the hardest in, but it'll be a lot of fun and very enjoyable and a really unique variety of tunes. If you're looking to build your repertoire for traditional material, then that's a good class. And let's see what else. A couple more here. Learn to play sitting on top of the world. This is an 8-bar blues, and anybody who wants to do the homework ahead of time, you can find a version. I think there's a version of Perry and I doing this on YouTube as well, if I
Oh,
remember
awesome.
right.
I'll find
Um,
that and
yeah,
post it.
I know we did Buckets of Rain and You Won't Quit Me, Baby. I think we did Sit on Top of the World, if I remember right. Um, but it's an 8-bar blues. It's an iconic tune. It was done by some really famous people like the Mississippi Sheiks and Howling Wolf, Doc Watson. And so, what I've done with my arrangement is I've combined the best of uh, some of the most iconic versions and kind of have a little rev version by sandwiching and piecing together some of the cool parts of each of the iconic versions.
Nice.
And it's really nice. Major chords, minor chords in there. A half step flatted seventh turn at the end of the tune. Is really cool, and a basic blues turnaround, which is this kind of in there as well. So even for the non-melody players can sometimes learn a really basic blues turnaround, feel like they're doing something cool. I have a simple generic solo that I wrote out for it, and I can even tie in some strum hand technique if time permits. So you can learn how to take a blues song like this and go. So you can get some triplets in there and
Wait,
stuff like that.
I gotta say that was the triplet that I learned way early on, and I remember you teaching that with the pinky goes first, but your whole hand goes out, so no one can tell what you're doing. That is so
Yep.
cool.
Yeah. That goes back to Roy Smeck. So he was the guy that did index, thumb, and pinky, and that, and George Formby as well. So
Ah, yeah, one of the
George
famous.
Formby would do more super circular, you know.
Uh-huh. So that brings in like the visual aspect too, and the mystery of. I don't even know how he's doing it. It just looks like he's going like that on the strings.
Yeah, it's abracadabra. It's hocus pocus. It's Harry Potter and the magic wand.
Uh-huh.
So that's what it looks like. There's one called Super Easy Blues Solos in C, and this is basic 12-bar blues in C, using chord fragments, double stops, boogie woogie, little bit of blues scale or pentatonic with a flatted third. And so you don't have to be a master melody player, but it's also interesting enough for the really good players. I wrote out 24 solos in the key of C as part of an upcoming book project that has not been published yet. But the whole goal was to inspire students of mine who came to me when I take on a private student. I ask them, what are your goals? And sometimes it's a sentence or two, but other times it's a paragraph or two. And then once I read their goals, all the curriculum that I lay out for them, because my students come to me and sign up for about a half a dozen lessons at a time. And so once they commit to that, then I create curriculum for them and or draw from what I've already have. And when I have improvisational goals from a student, I want to learn how to solo Little Rev, then that's what inspired it. So my students inspired me to write these really fun, tasty, simple blues solos. Like here's my favorite one. I'll give just a little piece of it.
That looks like so much fun to play.
Yeah, so that's called the Jug Band Serenade. And I've got a lot of follow up resources for people, or they can record in the class so they don't forget how they go. None of them are like, super, super hard or anything like that. They're very accessible, and they're things you'll want to play. And I show you how to take a generic solo and then integrate it into common songs because there's a million songs that are 12 bar blues. So there's a lot of practical applications for these solos that you can do other things with. You can also break them apart, and regurgitate pieces of them so that you have something to play in another solo. If I teach a solo that goes, that's like every other Chuck Berry solo. And that's only the first four measures. So anytime someone says take it and you're playing a 12 bar, if you know how to go, you can play that. And same thing with Boogie Woogie. So once you learn a Boogie Woogie pattern, which you'll learn in this class, if someone says take it, you can just play that Boogie Woogie in a 12 bar. The only question is, can you play it at any tempo? Have you practiced it only at one speed, or have you practiced it where you could do it like rockabilly fast? That's the only question you have to answer. So my point is, there's a lot of applications for these solos, and that's part of my goal in doing that. The other class that is listed as level 2 and 3, just because we're doing a lot of melody playing. And then there's a survey of triplet strokes, which you and I have already been talking about in this interview, and that is learning how to do a 1-2-3 pattern. Sounds pretty choppy when you first start doing it, but after you get it so that it sounds like a galloping horse, and then integrating that into a song using just little bits and pieces like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1, or 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1, and where would that work in a song and what types of songs? So how do you integrate it in there? Lots of fun. Everybody ought to learn how to do a triplet at some point in their evolution when you feel ready for that. It's unique to the ukulele. No other instrument does triplets in its strumming the way that ukulele desires. It was there when the Portuguese brought it to Hawaii, and any guitar player can take their pick and go 1 2 3 1 2 3 and play a jig, or throw on a triplet in their solo, or whatever, or strumming chords 1 2 3. If it's a doo-wop song, or some song that has like that 6/8 feel to it, or anywhere you're going to throw in a triplet against a 4/4 time or whatever it's going to be. But ukulele has got it as part of its history. So, if you're a uke player and you've been playing a long time and you don't feel confident doing a triplet, you owe it to yourself to learn how to do a triplet, because it's a journey. It takes time, and if you leave my class, you'll be exposed to a few different triplets. You'll figure out which one is best for you, and then you'll go on about your business of just practicing it over weeks or months or years. And I have students who worked on it for years and now they're just killing it. I have students who learned it in weeks to months. And so it really depends on you and how disciplined you are in your practice. But I love doing that class because I love triplets. And then my last class is arpeggio. Arpeggios are for everyone. This is just a pattern playing class that teaches, I don't know, depending on how efficiently we use the time, 4 to 6 of the most common patterns from inside outside, 4 3 2 1 sequence, alternating thumb pinch techniques, how to finger pick in a waltz time, 1 2 3 triplet patterns, which make really good finger picking soloing as well. So how do you take a simple arpeggio pattern and use it to create a solo when you don't know what else to do? If you're strumming, you ain't going nowhere. And you happen to be smiling at the song leader. And as a song leader, somebody keeps smiling at me over and over in the group, it's sort of like they're saying to me, I'd be willing to take a solo, Little Rev. So I look out at them and I go, yeah, take it, Sue. And then all of a sudden, Sue's got this terrified look on her face. Like, I didn't want to take a solo, I'm just having a good time. But Sue had taken my arpeggio class and she practiced her triplet 1, 2, 3 sequence. And she said, okay, well, I'll just arpeggiate those chords. And she goes,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
so,
Combine that with some inversions, and you sound like you know what you're doing.
yep. And no one's going to say, hey, you just played a pattern over and over again for your solo. Why did you do that? Like, they'll just be like, oh, that was kind of cool. You know,
Yeah.
you get to decide what to do. So that's a pattern playing class. And the three main concepts are one, how to, what are the basic patterns when you're starting out learning to become a good finger picker? Identify them. What are the most common? Two, how do we use them? Well, accompanying others when everyone else is strumming and you want to add another layer. Or two, self accompaniment when you get sick of strumming all the time to back yourself up and you want to be able to finger pick and sing at the same time. And then lastly, how can arpeggios be used for fills and breaks and solos and interludes and stuff like that? So, again, another real practical, user friendly class. And they're all things that I really enjoy teaching. So, it's just an honor to be able to do that and share that with people.